Hello dear students, let us now start with radial line development. This is the first problem that I'll be discussing on radial line development. I have discussed enough number of problems on parallel line development in all my previous videos. So I'll just read the problem statement. A square pyramid 25 mm base edge and 50 mm height rests on its base on HP with all the base edges equally inclined to VP. It is cut by a plane perpendicular to VP and inclined to HP at 60 degrees. Passing through the extreme right corner of the base, draw the development of lateral surfaces of the pyramid. So as per the problem statement, let me first start with construction of the top and the front view of this square based pyramid. To start with, you draw the XY line, and then as already we have come across this type of problem statement in projection of solids, where it is said that a solid is resting on HP with all of its base edges equally inclined to VP. When it says equally inclined to VP, it has to be resting on its corner position, because if you observe all the edges, if you then extend with respect to VP, they will all be equally inclined. So that is possible only when you're going to rest the pyramid on its corner position. So once you rest this pyramid on its corner position, you do all the labeling, as I have followed the base markings as A1, B1, C1, D1 throughout all the problems. So I have continued the same and I have taken the marking in the clockwise direction. Next is you project all the points such that you can get the front view of this pyramid. To get the front view, you initially start with the apex, the axis length. You mark it at 50 mm. Once you get this apex, you're then going to join all the slant edges with respect to the projections that have been made up. Remember, this is a pyramid and not a prism to get a rectangular front view. Rather, it is going to be a pyramid, and this is how it looks in its front view. So once you do this, next step is to finish off with all the markings, and then we will proceed in order to section this pyramid. It is said that it is cut by a plane that is perpendicular to VP, inclined to HP at 60 degrees, passing through the extreme right corner of the base. So there has to be a plane which has to pass by the extreme right corner of the base, that is this corner. It cannot be this corner because this becomes extreme left corner of the base, whereas we want the sectioning to be done from the extreme right corner, such that that plane is inclined at an angle of 60 degrees. So you keep the protractor here with this as the center. You can just get the angle inclined at 60 degrees, and then you have a plane. You cannot get the marking 60 degrees done on this end, because if you have a plane sectioned here, it is not going to cut this pyramid in any way. Therefore, it has to go in this direction itself. So by placing your protractor at this point, you mark 60 degrees, and then you get a plane such that it will intersect all the edges. So this is the plane that you see. Once you get the plane, then you have to go for numbering these planes. The numbering is just as we have done for parallel line methods, but here you only have a base marking. So there will be 1 marked on OA1 dash, 2 that will be marked on O dash B1 dash, 3 that should be marked on O dash C1 dash, and D on and 4 on O dash D1 dash. So here also we follow the same sequence. There is 1 on A, 2 on B, 3 on C, and so on. So once you do all these markings, the next step is to get this development. This development that you get can be randomly placed anywhere in any direction. It is not compulsory. It is not compulsory that it has to be in line itself, because this is a radial line development. There is nothing to do with the parallel line projections that we have. So here, as it is radial line development, the development that you see here, it can be placed anywhere at random. So here initially you should get an apex O that should be marked here. Then you should get a radius for this. This radius is nothing but the slant edge dimension in its true length. It has to be true dimensions and not the apparent dimensions. In order to get the true dimensions, one thing you have to note that one of the edge in its top view should be parallel to XY line, that is, it should be parallel to VP. Only then in the front view it will be in its true dimension. So here I will consider OC1. If I see OC1 dash, O dash C1 dash, OC is parallel to XY line, therefore O dash C1 dash is in its true dimensions. Likewise, you have it also for OA1 dash. You either consider this edge or this edge, that is, you either take this side or you can take this side. Both the lengths will be same because they are in its true form. Rather, if you consider O dash B1 dash or O dash D1 dash, the length of this edge and this edge will not be same because this is in its apparent dimension, whereas this is in its true dimension because the edge OC1 is parallel to XY line. Edge OA1 is parallel to XY line, whereas edge OD1 and OB1 are not parallel to XY line, therefore they are not in their true lengths. But you have to consider true length because that is one of the basic principles of development, that for development all the dimensions should be in their true form. So first you measure O to C1 dash, that is O dash to C1 dash, with the help of a compass, and by keeping O as the center and taking 53 mm, that is the slant edge true dimension, you have to then draw an arc. Once you draw this arc, then you measure what is the base edge of it. Base edge here given is 25 mm. So by keeping your compass here, you can go on marking 25 mm such that you get 4 base edges. Once you get those markings done on the arc, then with a scale you can join A1 B1, B1 C1, C1 D1 and D1 A1. You have to remember one thing, development here is nothing but unfolding or opening of the pyramid. So as you see, a pyramid has base edges. It does not have any curved surface or it does not have any arc at its base, rather it has edges. So the arc that you see here, it is only for construction purpose, whereas the actual pyramid is having base edges that should be drawn here. Okay, once you do that, you get this development done. The next step is to go for marking 1 2 3 4 on this development. So in order to mark 1 2 3 4, it should always be with reference to the true dimension and not the apparent dimension. So the first thing, let us mark 1 on OA1. So you have 1, you have to take the radial measurements here. You need not go for any parallel projections. You cannot go for any parallel projections. Rather, you should go for radial measurements. So keep the compass here and you see how much is the distance between O and A1 with the help of a compass. You measure that and you mark O1 on OA1. Next, I have to mark O2 dash. O2 dash is on OB. OB, if you see, it is not in its true dimensions, it is in its apparent dimension, but I have to do the marking in their true dimensions. So in order to get the true dimensions from this point of intersection, I have to draw a straight line such that it will be drawn on this true dimension slant edge. So I have taken this point 2 dash 4 dash on the slant edge point such that I can get the true dimensions and not the apparent dimensions. So by keeping the compass here from O to 2 dash, you measure that and you mark it on OB. O to 3 dash can be considered because it is in its true dimension, this slant edge. So you mark 3 here. Next is O to 4. O to 4, it is again not parallel to XY line, therefore it is in its apparent dimensions that you see in the front view. They have to be on their the true dimension, so you again project it on the slant edge here. So you measure O to 4 and you mark O to 4 on OD, and then finally you have O to 1, you have to mark O to 1. Once you get 1 2 3 4 marked, then you have to join all the points and all the edges that are a part of this development, they all should be darkened. So this is how radial line development has to be solved.